I already ate, so there's no here. Guys, let's cut the crap. 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 Let me just hit you with some home truths. Bartomeu will resign. As I assume, Bartomeu is resigning. That's happening. Because I said that if this is a war between Bartomeu and Messi, Bartomeu will lose. So either within the next few hours or tomorrow, Bartomeu will resign. But does Bartomeu resigning mean that Messi will still remain a Barcelona player? So the thing about this is that we have to be very careful. Where are these reports coming from? How reputable are these sources? Who are saying these things? Who are writing these things? So there's so many pieces to come through because let's rewind. Because Koeman is very key here. He is extremely key. So I think we are looking at the wrong target with regards to Messi. Everyone is saying Bartomeu. It's not about Bartomeu. It's about Messi looking at what is. And Messi realizing that you are going to have to be in a setup that you've never been, perhaps in your whole entire career. Messi, you came into success. Rijkaard's team was successful. Rijkaard's team was a very good team with Picdinho. And as soon as Rijkaard left, who came in? Pep. And as soon as Pep came in all the way through, you won at least a trophy each season. So the team was always popping off. So Messi now saying that, Bartomeu resigns. Let's say Fonts comes in. Let's say Fonts comes in. Who can we get? What players can we buy in this COVID encounter? Real Madrid are looking real good. My best friend, my closest friend is talking to Inter Miami. That's my closest friend, our main striker. And from what we are hearing, the way in which he was discarded was quite flagrant. So Messi is now saying that, this isn't the club that I know and I love. If you can treat players like this, specifically a close friend of mine, what the hell am I doing here? So I still assess that Messi isn't leaving Barcelona. That's my belief. My belief is that he's not leaving. I just don't see him leaving. But this is 100% the closest to that happening. Because for him to now take a U-turn, it would have to take a serious sell with regards to the team and the direction moving forward. Because let's keep it real. As broken as crap as Barcelona were, they lost the league with 2 or 3 games to go. 3 or 2 games to go, they lost it. It's not like if they lost the league by 10, 15 points. They lost the league by 4 points or so forth. And this was a broken team. So you could say, all right, we just get a few good players, a few good acquisitions, maybe a better manager, a better coach. We can maybe close the gap on Real Madrid and actually do a lot better. So that could be the argument. But that's the 8-2 lashing, I just think was a moment, because there's one thing to lose. And there's another thing to get completely and totally embarrassed and destroyed. And I think, you see, the 8-2 was the final full stop because it was Roma, then Liverpool. Well, you could even talk about 2017. You can look at 2017 getting completely shut out by Juventus, where 2 legs, you couldn't register a single G in 2 legs. 2018 Roma, 2019 Liverpool, and 2020, the Lisbon bloodbath. So you look at all those things and you're just saying, no, this is a steady decline here. It's a steady decline, and we just don't have a team strong enough. And the key, and this is the key that people are missing. It ain't just about Bartomeu. Messi is saying, "Fine, Bartomeu's gone. Cool, okay, Fonts loves me. I've got a president that wants to keep me." What does the team look like? What does the team look like? Because remember what I said before in the previous years, Messi is like, how can I do all this work, score all these goals, all these assists, and what do I get in return? A league title? And now I don't even get a league title now. So that's at one end. You see, the other angle is the Ronald Koeman thing, where let's not just assume or speculate because we don't know what that's about. Because you see, for me, I told you, every time you read anything on Twitter, anything on anything read, you have to say how many sources. If you see a story, I need to see at least 3, 4, 5 sources who are verifying that story. Okay, I don't care about Fabrizio Romano. I don't care about any of these dudes. If I see a story, how many other people are carrying that same exact narrative? Then I can tell you whether it's real or not. Then I can tell you whether it's real or not. That's a fact, man. So they said that Koeman told Messi that your privileges are over, that you now have to be part of a team. Now, I don't think Koeman said, Messi, your privileges are over. That's stupid. You see, I put it out that to say, oh my gosh, just as a laugh. But jokes aside, unless Koeman is a psychopath, as a new manager coming in, your best player, the greatest player of the club, you don't say that. But I do think he would have said something in the realm of team. In Koeman saying, you know what? There's a reason why they brought me here. I know what you are, but I am a Barcelona legend and I love this club and this is my dream club. But specifically, I am brought in here in the aftermath of 8-2. And I believe that I am brought in here to reset this entire team. Hence why Koeman obviously signed off on, total clear out. 8, 10 players, let's get out of there. 8, 10 players, let's get out of there, including Cannibal, because I'm building a whole new team. Hence, when I hear about Depay coming through, Van der Beek, he's building an entirely new team, which I think is needed because you have to restructure. You have to restructure. So I would have liked to know what that Koeman and Messi conversation would have been like. And I think for Messi, see, everything goes back to 8-2. Everything goes back to the Lisbon blood. Because I think for Messi, he's like, you would need to, because there's so many elements. Because, okay, Messi, you would need to give me an amazing sell as a manager to tell me that you have a serious plan to move this team forward in the aftermath of 8-2. Because for us to get totally embarrassed, because for Messi, that's on me as well. Despite of everything that Messi has done, and Messi is still one of the greatest club players of all time, Wikipedia will still say you were on the pitch where you got beat 8-2 in a single game. In a game over 90 minutes, you lost 8-2 and you were on the pitch. That's on Messi's record. And Messi will know that, that is a blemish. The positive far outweighs the negative. He's done far more good than bad. But Messi haters, Cristiano fanboys will say, Cristiano never lost 8-2. So the anger of that, Messi's already thinking like, you know what? I'm done. Gets me the hell out of this place. So that's but the reason why this is so shocking is this. My belief was always two things: Messi retires at Barcelona, or he leaves for Newell's Old Boys for one last year, which is similar to what R9 did with Corinthians and what Maradona did with Boca Juniors. Where last final year, you go back to where it all started. A bit similar to what Robin is doing with Groningen. So I thought, you know what, that's what he would probably do. I just could never envision him leaving Barcelona because comfort zone, everything works. You've always known this place. You've not known of it. Habits. As human beings, we are creatures of habits. So I never envisioned him leaving. But my thing is this: is that I never envisioned him leaving. I never envisioned Barcelona being like this. Never. Nobody on this planet would have ever seen Barcelona get beaten 8-2 in a game by anybody. Never. So I never saw Barcelona go down like this, or Barcelona losing 4-0 in a game to Liverpool after being up like what 3-0. So this is the low of the low of the low of where Messi is right now. So, but where we are right now, and obviously I'll take I'll take your super chats, I'll take your questions, and everything. But let me just get this out, and I'll take your questions and so forth, and we'll have a guide like long discussion. You see, for Bartomeu, is Bartomeu really the issue? Is okay. See, yes and no. Maybe a different president is more proactive in the transfer markets. For instance, as I said, how did Barcelona not get De Ligt? De Ligt was right there. How did they not get De Ligt, and how did they allow Juventus to get De Ligt? So there were all these targets, and they failed to get them. But maybe true. But as of right now, my question is, what will a change of presidents do? And will a change of presidents really keep Messi? Because this is my whole thing. Are we missing something here? Because everyone is saying Bartomeu. Is that really the issue? Because the issue is for Messi is I'm 33. These are the last few years of my career. I can't go out like a pussycat. I can't go out like a pussycat. And I cannot be part of a team that's a mess and that's not going anywhere. So, see, my thing is this. Maybe Koeman didn't say to Messi, yo, you have to be part of a team. And maybe Ronald Koeman was like, bro, this is going to be a process. I'm bringing in some younger players and so forth. I cannot guarantee you a trophy this season. Don't even think of Europe, because we just don't have the bodies to compete with Bayern Munich, Liverpool, PSG, or Man City. We just don't, because we have to have a massive clear out. I'm bringing in a bunch of young guys. I'm looking at La Masia right now and how many I process, and I would love for you to be part of this new process. So Messi is saying to himself that you're telling me that I'm in my last 2-3 years and I'm going to be part of a new process, and you're not going to build a team that can compete for Europe? Sorry, bro. Because I think for Messi, 100%, he believes that he can win at least a Champions League before he leaves. That's what he wants. Maybe a Copa America, but he's like, I want to win a Champions League before I leave. But I think another aspect that I've seen from this is he is bigger than the club. 100%. He is bigger than the club. And Bartomeu resigning is proof that he is bigger than the club. You're the president. You're the president of this club. And this is just a player. But based on what this player has done to the club, on his services of this club and so forth, and how he has enhanced the brand of this club, if he says, I don't believe in you, you're out. Because right now, all those guys in Barcelona board are saying, we need to keep Messi. Selling Messi is not an option. It's not an option. And guys, for Bartomeu, you even entertaining the notion of letting Messi go, you're sniffing. You're sniffing. You are sniffing if you're even entertaining the notion of Messi leaving. So for Bartomeu, he's like, all right, I'm out. Peace out. Dubs. Because I don't know because there is no capacity in which he stays. Because you see, now this is what I said in my initial video. Because I said that you see, Bartomeu, if you've got real character as a man, you stay. It is what it is. They didn't throw drugs, that's anything. I'm like, no. Because if you're Bartomeu, like, okay, I've begged him and so forth. If I've said to him, man, please, can you stay? I want him to stay, and he says that he's leaving regardless, or he says that he will only stay if I resign. I'm like, it is what it is. Because I can't just leave. I'm a man. I've got character. I've got a job to do here, and I have to right. That's wrong because for Bartomeu, he's like, I don't want to go out as the Barcelona president that oversaw us being pimp slapped 8-2, and I ended it on it for a trophyless season. He doesn't want that. But pressure is just pressure because Bartomeu is like, I can't deal with this pressure that these guys are putting me under, because there's videos of guys protest to say that Bartomeu out. But and there's so I was watching ESPN FC and I was reading more on it. So the contracts thing, which was supposed to be in June, but apparently there's a loophole. So there might be a loophole in which he can terminate his contract. And Barcelona are not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to allow that to happen. Because that's the key thing. Because Messi knows that no one can afford 700. Abramovich can, by the way. Abramovich, he can. But Messi knows that no one can afford 700 mil in this market. So the best thing to do is, can I find a loophole where I can terminate my contract? Because if he terminates his contract, there are people that can afford his wages. Man United can afford his wages. Man City can afford his wages. I believe PSG can afford his wages. So they can if it's just wages, boom, we can do that. If it's 700 mil, a bit tricky. This would be huge. This would be the biggest transfer in football history if this happened. I don't think it's going to happen, but this would be the biggest transfer because Neymar was it was for loads of money. Messi is arguably the greatest club football player of all time. He is the greatest Barcelona player of all time, and in our lifetime, we will never see a greater Barcelona player ever in our lifetime. We will never see a player as consistent as Messi in our lifetime. That's never happening. A guy who was generally the best player for like a decade, we're never going to see that happen. So him leaving, it would be the biggest transfer in history. Because everybody assumed that no, he's never leaving Barcelona because Barcelona would never be stupid enough to allow him to leave. That he only leaves for his final year and a swan song and he was old boys, and he leaves amicably. Where boom, thank you, it's emotional because that's what we all thought. Guys, think about this. This was how the story was supposed to end. Whether he retires or he goes to New Year's Old Boys, this is Messi's final season. Everyone is emotional. Hashtag Messi final season. After every game, opposition people are hustling and fighting each other to get his shirt because this is the last time you're going to see Messi. Then we talk about what he's done for the game and so forth. And then that final game is the most emotional game ever. The final game at Camp Nou, that is the most difficult game to even attend. Messi's final game at Camp Nou. And his final farewell, it would be one of the most emotional things that we've seen in football. Messi's final game for Barcelona. And it's like, wow, if he leaves like this, where it is brutal, it's thugged out, it's where he's forcing a move, oh my God, it messes the story up. Because yes, you can still say it's been amazing. Look at all the kind of things I've done, the amazing things done. But whenever you read a story, you can't just read 3/4 of a book. You have to read the book from front to back. So the Messi story, if it is, will be like, oh my gosh, the stats was damn amazing. Oh my gosh, the middle, will that be there? But then the end, like the last 5 pages would be the Roma, Liverpool, Neymar leaving, then 8-2 to Bayern Munich, and then wanting to leave and forcing him to leave in frustration, in anger. That's a sad end. That is a sad end. And for Messi to think about now, guys, think about. I'll get to the question. Think about this. For Messi to even consider this, it's deep. Because for Messi, this is all he's known. All he's known is Barcelona. Hence why I thought he's never leaving Barcelona, because this is all he knows, and he's one of those guys that isn't about trying to challenge himself and go to other places. All he's known is Barcelona. That is all he's known. So it's, I mean, I'm going to bring in Sean because I know, Sean, I know you want to come in. I'll bring you in. But this is all this dude has known. All this dude has known is Barcelona. So it's almost impossible to think of him being anything else. Okay, look, man. Let me get Sean in here, man. Let me get your boy Sean in here, and then I'll take some of your questions, because I look, man, guys. We're gonna follow this closely, man. We're gonna follow this very closely indeed, man. So what are you guys saying, man? So I will respect Messi more than ever if he leaves. Why so? Why would you respect him more if he leaves? You see, but you know that's a key thing. But you know what I've always said? Messi has never really cared about that narrative of like, oh, can you do it in another place, man? So, HH, thoughts on Herrera post interview? Oh, is that why he starts swearing and says that football is nothing but fun? Hilarious. It was an absolute hilarious. So yesterday says in Garnett's voice, anything is possible. So anything is possible, but I'm not sure about this, bro. So Sean, is your mic working there?
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Okay, cool. Look, man, Sean, he's your idol. He's the main man. He's the guy that you're gonna name your children and your kids after and everything, and your babies after. Let's just straight out the gate. God's feeling, is he leaving? Yes or no?
Yeah, I do genuinely believe he's leaving, because if you look at the president of Catalonia tweeted that, thanks for everything. Messi, Suarez tweeted, a couple of players tweeted, Vidal tweeted, even before Bartomeu was allegedly resigning. And another source, Cat Radio, which is fairly reputable, just said that Pep and Messi spoke 3 days ago about a potential $300 million transfer to City. So there's always these talks going under the rug that a lot of people aren't necessarily posted yet. So my gut feeling is like, yeah, he's leaving. And let's just say, for example, so Bartomeu leaving right now, does that really change the club in one season? Messi has 3 years.
You see, that's just what I just said to stuff like that. Even if Bartomeu resigns, does it change anything?
No, well, not immediately. In the course of a 5 to 10 year project, of course it does. You're going to have a new, and he was going to leave in March anyway.
No. I said with regards to Messi staying or leaving.
No, I don't think
Messi's decision whether Bartomeu resigns. I don't think it does.
No, I don't think. Listen, I think that Messi leaving has nothing to do with. Well, it has a lot to do with Bartomeu, but I think even if Bartomeu stayed until March, Messi would still want to leave now, because Messi didn't know he was going to resign, and it could have been a power play move. We don't know yet. But if Messi was consistent about this potential long-term winning project, he knows Bartomeu is going to lose in March anyway, so he would stay anyways. So Bartomeu, his decision has been, in my opinion, been made up. Now we don't know. He could say, people could convince him, but I mean, he wasn't talking for about 4 to 5 days after the Bayern debacle. So I think that he took a lot of thought into it. A lot of people have been in his head, and I think that it's time to move on. And I think he genuinely believes deep down that Barcelona need to rebuild, and that they are in the long term better off without having him there, because a lot of players do, whether it's his fault or not, depend on him, which it's too much reliance on Messi. If Messi was to go to a winning project in City, or people are talking about PSG, but a team with that
although superstars.
Yeah, then Messi can have a more defined role. Then Messi will have more energy to do more pressing, maybe more defending, because he can do that. It's just that there's too much responsibility offensively. So he would just be tired out of Barcelona. And I think that's what's happened over the years, too much reliance. And I think that Irrespective of what was going to happen with Bartomeu, I think
Okay, wait,
leaving was ultimately.
wait, hold that thought. Wait. Um, so basically, I'm just going to mute you. So let me just take some of these super chats because I want to ask you something about Koeman specifically. Let me just take some of these super chats and then I'll get to you. So Yasser Side says Liverpool fans say that Messi's last game for Barca is 8-2. Didn't you all forget Steven Gerrard's last game for Liverpool was 6-1 to Stoke? Ouch! Yeah, yeah, bro, that was bad, man. That was bad. Sorry, let me just. So Yasser Side said Pogba to Bruno. Lovely by Rashford. Dishes to Messi. Messi to Martial. Back to Messi. Messi. Welcome to the theater. Yes, aside, you sick man. Over, there is no way in hell he's touching Old Trafford. You sick man. Just bested. Neymar on Coutinho destroyed Barca. I'm enjoying this. Well, might be. The Verge. Messi do a Figo, bro. HH, does 2020 have a wing? Yes, 2020 does have a wing. There's no way in hell Messi would do that to Barcelona. No way. He's doing Real Madrid. Yes, aside, the lights to banish the darkness and the nightmares and brought with him luscious dreams. Welcome to the theater of dreams. Side, it's not happening. Messi's not going to United. And side again, Messi, don't be a loser. Come to United. It will be a big money move. Don't go to the bald fraud who told people he gave birth to you. Nope. Saeed again says, oh, it's rather that. And from Just Besting, Barca spent 300 million on Neymar's replacements and all failed. Look, man, it's wild. So let me come back to you, Mr. Sean, man. What do you think? How do you think that conversation went, Ronald Koeman and Messi? And do you believe the reports that have been reported about what he said to Messi, which I don't think is true?
Well, I mean, the reports took. I mean, probably a small portion of the discussion had those in it, but I think the reporter took it and then fragmented in the way in which he wanted to report it. So it was probably taken out of context, which most of these reports are a lot of the time. I think Koeman maybe told Messi about his plan and about what he wants to do, and then he maybe said, Messi, you have more of a defined role. But I think Messi, even prior to meeting Koeman, had his mind made up in that he wants to leave. I think hearing out Koeman was just out of respect. And these reports that you're going to see on Twitter in regards to that conversation, it's hard to really gauge if it's true or not. I think some of it is true. I think a lot of Messi's a lot of the importance on Messi is going to be somewhat diminished. I think it's going to be more of a team effort, more of a collaborative effort, because that's what Barcelona needs to do in order to win these. You can't rely on one person to beat teams like Bayern Munich, because Bayern are going to be better next year. City might even. I mean, Bayern have Sané now, so Bayern are going to be even better next year. City might improve. United are actually getting better, which they're actually possible. I bet you if United played Barcelona today, United would win the way our back line has been playing. So it's just, there's a lot of different things you can look at here. And I think that despite the conversation, I think Messi wanted to leave regardless.
So for Barcelona's point of view, what do you think is best for Barcelona? Do you think that they should? So if you're Koeman, what do you think is best? You keep Messi, but you just try to build a better and much more stronger team with Messi that can help support him? Or do you think the best move to do is to be, you know what, move Messi out, start from scratch and start a new process? Because this is what I said, and see whether you believe my theory. This is my theory of how I think the conversation went with Koeman and Messi. I believe Koeman said to Messi, we cannot compete in Europe. This is going to be a rebuild process. And as it's a rebuild process, it may take 2 or 3 years. I would love for you to be part of this rebuild process with a younger team that will hopefully grow. Similar to the job that Koeman is doing with Holland, where this is a new team, young team, and I'm just building a process that will take the next 2-3 years. Will now be able to be a strong, cohesive team, but it will take time. And because he said time, I don't have time. I want to compete now. So do you feel that based off of that, of Barcelona needed to rebuild, have a new process, Messi was like, I can't wait. I need to move now?
Yeah, I think that most of it has to do with his age and the fact that in the last 3 to 4 years, they've lost in embarrassing fashion. And I think all of that taken into account, the fact that he's done everything for this club. I mean, name an offensive record that he hasn't broken to Barcelona. You can't. He's done everything you can do for them. He's repaid the treatment that Barcelona paid for when he was 13 years old. he repaid in full, getting them to won 4 Champions Leagues in a decade and a half, and like 12, 13 years, won about 10 domestic league titles. He's done as much as he could that any player could do in a 10-year span for a club, barring Cristiano Ronaldo. So it's like, I mean, what else is there to do? The long-term project should not be having Messi in there, because he can, if everything's centered around them, it's going to make it a little more difficult for other players to develop, like Fati, potentially Puig. You want them to have more defined roles, get them more experience. You know what, Dembele, Coutinho is going to be back. I think Koeman wants Coutinho to play. I think Suarez is leaving, but Griezmann now can play in his more natural role. I think it's good for both parties if Messi leaves. A long-term plan for a 33-year-old, and when his contract was going to end in 2021 anyways, after these sort of defensive debacles, it means that you have to just part ways. And it is a sad ending, like you were saying. Like most endings in life don't end nicely. They just don't. And this is a situation where it doesn't. So the long-term plan that Barcelona have shouldn't include a 33-year-old. What he should do, this is what I would do if I was Messi. I would go to either City or Inter, right? Potentially with Inter, there's a lot of great. I mean, you can rekindle a rivalry with Ronaldo, which everybody would love to see, and possibly dethrone Juventus with Inter and for Serie A. That would be a great achievement. Go to City, help them win their first ever Champions League with Pep again.
But the key thing, those are, can they afford? So let's say Messi. Let's actually just pick apart this. Let's before we get to the teams. Let's just take this stage by stage. Let's now look at the realities of how Messi leaves. So, can he actually terminate his contract? Because as they say, COVID year, season ended differently. So maybe you can find a loophole that they terminate his contract. Because for me, my thing is, if they can't, who can afford 700 mil in this climate? I don't think many clubs can. So the best thing to do is some teams can afford his wages. 700 mil and your wages. So do you think Messi would be able to send his contract, or Barca be like, no, we have to fight for that 700 mil because there's no way in hell we are allowing our most prized asset in this recession to live on a free?
Barcelona should try to enact the 700 million clause, but the thing is that there's probably a loophole in the agreement, and since COVID happened, I think they extended it. So I think I don't know all the nuances with the contract. They don't release everything, but I think that if there is a loophole, and I heard reports about that, it is being extended and that he can leave for free. I'm not sure if that's certain, but if from Barcelona's perspective, you have to look at it this way. You need to make money off of Messi leaving. This is the biggest transfer in the history of the sport, maybe all of sports, considering he's been there since he was 13 years old. And then he said that he wanted to stay there forever. It was a lovely marriage, so to speak. So him leaving, you want to be compensated financially well for that. You really need to as a club, especially considering how you've been embarrassed recently. And Madrid are looking good, and other teams are looking good. You need to be able to compete at the highest level soon. So you want to get that. As far as Messi's perspective, I mean, if I was him, maybe leave for a few years and then come back for a 1 year, play a bit part role, and have that ceremonial ending. Like kind of like similar to what Kobe had, that farewell season, but he didn't leave. But I'm saying, like, what you could do is you can come back to Barcelona, play a bench role in your late 30s, inspire people on the training ground. And then,
see, this is my theory, which is why I think, forget about Barcelona, it was the conversation with Koeman. Messi is like, okay, I've got maybe 2-3 years that I can really play at the highest level. I want to, at the very least, win one more Champions League before I leave. One more. So, and I think that was the real motivating factor that said, okay, I'm going to now think of maybe leaving, because the project that Koeman is presenting isn't a project to win the Champions League next season. It's a project of a 2 to 3 year rebuild of Barcelona. So are you more with Messi wants to win a CL as soon as possible, or you do believe that, okay, he would come back to Barcelona and do like a Kobe for 1 year?
I mean, I'm not a psychologist here, but I do think that Messi cares about his legacy deep down, even though he might not talk about it. And I think that he wants to win the Champions League more than anything right now, apart from obviously winning an international trophy with Argentina. So yeah, the best thing for him is to leave, and it's also the best thing for Koeman, because now he doesn't have to Now he doesn't have to build around Messi. Now he can focus on developing the other players in the squad and developing his own sort of system, his own philosophy, putting that into Barcelona and seeing what he can do for the next couple of years. And Messi can part ways, do his thing in another club, potentially win a Champions League, maybe win another domestic title, prove to the haters that he can win in multiple leagues, because that's an argument against him. Like, the stain on Messi's legacy that has been around for the last decade in this ongoing Ronaldo Messi debate is that Ronaldo's done it in multiple leagues and Messi hasn't. And maybe Messi's like, why don't I go do it in another league as well? Prove them wrong as it should be. If he goes to City, I'm pretty sure they'll make it.
Wait. So I'm just looking on Twitter now with this whole Bartomeu thing. So basically, I don't know how reputable this guy is called, Barca Center are, but they've said that currently only one outlet has reported that Bartomeu has resigned. Another outlet has reported that Bartomeu is considering resigning. We are waiting for more news to break. We'll keep you updated. So I believe Bartomeu is going to resign. 100%. I don't believe he's going to resign. But let's just play a game. Let's just play this game. So let me ask you this, Sean. Heart of hearts, do you believe Bartomeu resigns or he stands his ground?
I mean, in my heart of hearts, I think he does resign. Realistically, I think he knows deep down that in March, when the elections come, he was going to lose to Victor Font anyway. So if he's going to lose now, and then all this backlash with the potentiality of Messi leaving, yeah, you resign. You have to have some sort of integrity, a little bit, and just say, you know what? Let me cut my losses and just end this, because it's too much stress.
No. This is my argument. My arguments for him not resigning is manhood, character of, if I resigned losing 8-2 to Bayern, trophyless season, and a player literally forced me out. So I just succumb to pressure. Because if I'm Bartomeu, I'm like, let me at least try and get this right. So let me say, okay, fine, vote me out and everything, but at least I'll still say I brought in Koeman and I set the stage to create something new. So the record will show that, let's say Barcelona are successful in 3, 4, 5 years time. I planted the seeds, and I was the guy who hired Koeman, who led the way in getting us to go through. Because see, him resigning because of Messi, really, because of Messi, shows that you have no real character. Or how do you view that?
I mean, yeah, you can look at it from that angle too. I mean, I think it was funny. You had the little 5-minute vid. You said you can't even look your children in the eye and talk to them. I thought that was pretty funny. So you can look at it from that angle, certainly. But you also look at it from this perspective. Like, he's had numerous opportunities to make changes. He should have gotten rid of Valverde right after Liverpool, maybe even after Roma, because that's embarrassing. Even after a first season, there's a lot of other clubs that oust their managers in the first year. Smaller clubs in Barcelona. So maybe Bartomeu should have done that a lot earlier. And I think as things started to accumulate and build up, and all of the issues started to add up, and all the things with Abidal and the issues early on in the season on social media, things being leaked to the press, all this is a true and clear reflection on Bartomeu. And all of it adding up, you have to come to the realization that, look at yourself in the mirror, man. You're firing everybody else, but we're still losing. You're getting rid of players. You're bringing in these bad transfers. You're not making good, smart business decisions. I understand that you want to keep your quote unquote manhood, but you're running this club into the ground. You want to be known as that guy that runs into the ground, that gets rid of Neymar, that gets rid of Messi, that has these enormous debacles in the Champions League, unprecedented leads being destroyed in the biggest competition in Europe. You want to be known as the president that does that, do you? I think right now is his legacy as president is completely tainted. But if he was to stay and Messi was to leave, then it's even worse. So if he was to stay until March and Messi to leave, then it's like, yeah, you have your manhood, cool, but nobody respects you. Actually, more people will respect you if you leave, if you resign, because then you came to the realization that, wait, you looked at yourself in the mirror, you realize you made some mistakes, and now you're trying to rectify them by saying, you know what, Barcelona, I apologize. I wasn't doing well these last couple of years, and it's time to just part ways. And I think that's more respectable. Resigning when you're not doing a good job, understanding when you're not doing a good job, is something that you have to be general self-awareness, basic human self-awareness, man. He should resign, because he's completely destroyed the perception of what people view. But we're a banter club. We're on Arsenal's level at the moment on Twitter. It's pathetic. So if you are the person that's taken this once prestigious club that was known for some of the most beautiful football over the last, large part of the last decade with Pep. Even under Enrique, it was great. And you're going to take it to a point where you're being bantered on the same level as Arsenal. You won less trophies than Arsenal. No disrespect to Arsenal fans, but you won less trophies than Arsenal this season with a budget that surmounts basically any team in the world, barring 3 other clubs. So you want to be known as that president? Yeah, keep your manhood, bro. Keep it all you want. Just nobody will hire you in the future. No, you're going to be disrespected in Catalonia, in Spain. Dude, resign, and then some of your integrity and respect will be there if you resign. That's if.
Okay. Wait, so Corbin, let me just hit some super chats. From Dennis Husto, who says, Messi is not going to another big club. He has a family that's settled in Barcelona. There are more important things in life than his career. So Dennis, you're saying that he will just stay at Barcelona indefinitely? Martin Rosara, Barca board to make the Knicks look competent. Laugh my ass off. Bro, sorry, the Knicks are the worst board of all time. Don't compare the Barca board to the Knicks. The Knicks are trash. Okay, those guys are treated trash. What's it called? Yes, side again says, guys, if he's going for free, every club should be in for him. It's a no-brainer. Bayern, PSG, Real Madrid, United, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Inter, Juve, etc. It's not as easy as that. Yes, side. It is about whether they can afford him. Not everybody can afford his wages. Yes, of course, I want Messi. I'm not going to destroy and break the balance sheets to sign. It's not going. So basically, Bayern are not even considering Messi because his wages will be too high for Bayern. So, Sean, I want to now look at the cannibal Suarez, who is now negotiating with Inter Miami. Do you believe that part of Messi's decision? So, 2 questions. First question is, do you think part of Messi's decision to leave was how they treated who is obviously his best friend, Cannibal Suarez? And do you think it is right that Barcelona have discarded of the Cannibal?
I know they have a really, really close relationship, so maybe that was taken into account a little bit and how he was mistreated. Not only him, but a lot of other players were mistreated in the club, specifically Arthur as well. Messi liked Arthur a lot. And Suarez, they're best friends. Like Suarez went to his honeymoon. I mean, they have an extremely close bond. That could have been a factor. But no, I mean, apart from their close friendship, I think deep down Messi still knows that it is a business, and that Suarez has been on the decline. And I think that Suarez leaving or Suarez staying would have no impact on Messi leaving or Messi staying. So I don't think those two are kind of intertwined that way. It could be true, but I hope it isn't, because I mean, Suarez has been on a huge decline in the last 3 years, and I think he knows it as well. And he just had a knee surgery too, so it's not looking good in the future for Suarez. I think he should go to Ajax. By the way, I've heard reports about Ajax.
But let me ask you this. So, Ronald Koeman, let's look at strategy then. Do you think? Because I still believe that it was a wise strategy based on 8-4, you to get someone like Ronald Koeman and say, we want to start from scratch. So it's really for that. I'll get you. So let me just go back to Sean. So Sean, so do you think that it was right for Koeman to be like, start from scratch, let's do this from scratch, and so forth? Or do you think he should have fought to still paper over the cracks, keep Messi, or maybe him as a manager could have gotten more and better results with still the same core group in there? Or you think the right move was to be like, upheaval, change everything through? Sean.
I think the best. Yeah, you want the best. Okay, if Messi stayed, the best chance was to get rid of a bunch of other players so that maybe they can build around him. And to build chemistry would take a season or two. And considering Messi's age, considering the fact that his contract ends in 2021, he would have wanted to leave anyway. So it's a difficult question to answer, but I'm going to keep it brief on that one. That's my perspective. I want to see what Ford's perspective is on that, because I think I touched a lot about the squad and how they need to rebuild anyway. So curious what your thoughts are.
So it's the FIFA maestro himself, Mr. Ford, back at it. So basically, Ford, first off, I'm going to go straight. Do you believe Messi leaves this summer, or do you think somehow, somewhere he actually does stay? What do you believe will happen? Do you think he leaves, or do you think he somehow, somewhere things get patched up and he stays?
Cool. First of all, can you hear me good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. boy, it's a mad one. Today has been a mad day for real. I feel like it would pretty much complete the paradox that has been 2020 if Messi was to go and leave. Like it's something that I didn't foresee happening. And to be honest, even at this point, I still think it most likely won't happen. Reason being is because, first of all, there's not many teams that are out there that are going to be able to afford him. Yes, it might be a free transfer, but there's still the wage packet, which is rumored at about 900,000 a week, plus everything else in terms of his bonuses, which obviously he's not going to want to cut down too much. So it's really difficult to see what teams are that can afford that to begin with. But I think the main issue is his feud with the Barcelona board, obviously mainly with Bartomeu. And I feel like he didn't like the direction that the club was going in, which for many years now has been poorly run. I even take it back all the way to the sale of Neymar, which obviously Messi wasn't really keen on having. He wasn't keen on seeing Neymar leave to another big club. And the direction the club has gone in since hasn't been one that has led Messi to be able to win the Champions League. Yes, Barcelona have been able to win multiple league titles since, but not this season. And the Champions League, they never got to a final since then. And if you look at the signings that have been brought in to replace Neymar, they spent over 400 million on the likes of Dembele, Coutinho, and Griezmann. And these guys, none of these guys even started the game against Bayern Munich where they lost 8-2. In fact, Coutinho was on the bench for Bayern Munich and just came on and scored a brace. So if you're Messi, you can kind of see the fact that he was starting to lose a bit of enthusiasm with the club. And even in the match day where he's walking around, you can kind of see that he wasn't really where he wasn't really happy with where the club was at. So I feel like with Bartomeu leaving, perhaps that maybe is the main reason why he's happy to stay. And yeah, I feel like he most likely will stay just based on the fact that there's not many teams who are likely to go and buy him.
So going to actually, let me just take this over for a moment. So Mamino says apparently no board meetings and Bartomeu not leaving. So actually, let's just say because again, I think that Messi does stay, but I'll come to Sean with this. So Sean, if he does leave, what club do you think he goes to? Where do you think he? Oh, rather, where would be the right club for him to go to? Based on his age, his cousins, and so forth.
Yeah,
so Sean, where would be the right club for him to go to if he was to leave?
Man City, and they're one of the few clubs in the world that can the wages that Ford was talking about, a 900 or something, right? That the marketing that's going to happen and the shirt sales and the revenue generated and all more fans are going to go towards City, and I think they'll be able to pay it off pretty easily, to be honest, just considering the amount of revenue Messi can generate. And from on the pitch, yeah, I think it would be great. I think it'd be great with City because, well, Pep Guardiola knows him. I think he can get the best out of Messi. I think that there'll be less responsibility because you already have great creators and playmakers at Manchester City that Messi won't need to drop a seat. Messi won't need to be the one dictating the tempo of the game while scoring, while trying to dribble everybody. That way he'll have more energy to press more, maybe do what Pep wants him to do more. So I think it'll be a little more manageable. Plus, they have a great relationship. Defensively, they have their issues, but it's not like they're conceding 4 or 5 goals. They're losing by 1 or 2, right? They're losing by 1 or 2 in these UCL games in the last couple of years. So I think the best decision that Messi could do if he were to leave would go to City. And if you have De Bruyne behind you, and let's just say, for example, maybe De Bruyne can take a number 6 or number 8 role, then Messi can shift to an attacking mid position. Okay, well, then you have Aguero in front of him. You have Sterling, potentially Jesus on the right, or Mahrez and Sterling on the left and right, respectively. And it's like, okay, they can run in behind, right? Messi can penetrate defensive lines, make center defensive mids and center backs come in narrowly. Like he can disorient back lines easily, give more space for Mahrez to be isolated one-on-one. Sterling can do his thing as well. Aguero and Messi have a good connection. It'd be easy to develop chemistry with players like Gundogan, players like Foden, players like KDB, because they have such high footballing IQs. I think that everything would flow so smoothly. The only issue is defensively. Okay, well, they got Nathan Ake. I think they might even delve into the transfer market some more to get another defender. And yeah, I think that it would go pretty well at Manchester City. At least challenge Liverpool and for the title in the next couple of years, and then possibly win the Champions League too.
All right. Ford, if Messi was to leave, what would be the ideal club for him to roll to then?
I think there's a couple of clubs where he would be a pretty good fit. I mean, again, it's Lionel Messi, so you feel like he could fit into any team, and not just him fitting into any team, but most teams would die for a player like that and build a team around him. Now, I think Man City is a very good option. Obviously, there's already a connection there with Pep, so his understanding of his philosophy, the way he wants to play. I'm sure Pep's monitored Messi's career since he's left and probably has an idea of how he would like to play him. And personally, I think we would see a return to maybe the 2012 season where Messi played as a false nine. And I feel like if you played in them with Man City, with let's say Mahrez off the right, Sterling off the left, you obviously De Bruyne creating in behind, it reduces the defensive load that Messi would have to do defending on one of the wings, which he would have to do in the Premier League. You wouldn't get away with walking around for 50, 60 minutes of the match. That doesn't run in the Premier League. But I thought Messi as in a false nine position would cause absolutely havoc in the Premier League. And again, I'm not here for this conversation of people saying, "Oh, Messi's 33, he won't cut it in the Premier League."
Oh,
No,
shut up.
no. I mean, he may have to adapt slightly, like any player would go into a new league, but Jamie Vardy was top scorer in the Premier League at 33 years of age. I'm not hearing that Messi can't cut it in the Premier League. That's
So
absolutely
Messi
nonsense.
can't emulate Jamie Vardy?
He would duplicate it, not more. But yeah, I think Man City would be a good move. And even to Sean's point, yes, Man City need to improve the defense. But again, they've already got Nathan Ake, who's a good backup defender. They are also linked with Koulibaly, which I think would be a great signing for them alongside Laporte. I think that would be a formidable backline, which should then push them to be able to challenge Liverpool for the league. So I think Man City is the obvious choice as a really good option. But if you're looking at it from Barcelona's point of view, with Messi's release clause of being able to go for free, they're surely going to need to get something in return. And I think their best bet is to try and get a player in return. And maybe they can get a player from Man City. And I think ultimately the decision will be down to Messi as to what club he wants to go to. But I thought another good option, which hasn't been talked about as much, is going to PSG. And I think going into PSG, and in return, they get either, in fact, not even either. I think the only person Barcelona would want back from PSG would be Neymar. And you kind of get the best of both worlds in the sense that PSG get Lionel Messi, which again, with that revenue would be a massive thing. And for Neymar, it'd almost be like a homecoming where he gets to go back to Barcelona. And there's no case of you being second to Messi. That's your team. You have to carry that team.
See, I love you brought that up. That's a great thing to do. I don't just hit the super real quick. So Abdeli's skill says Messi won the under-20 World Cup in 2005. Osman, heck freaking no.
He's patronizing.
Are you sick at that? What are you
That's gotta be a
silly,
joke.
man?
That's a joke. I'm feeling
Wait, easy. Wait. Let me go to forward. See, you made a very interesting point. So sorry. So what do you think you said about PSG?
Yes.
And Neymar? This is the issue. This is a different Neymar. And something tells me that Ronald Koeman is building a team. He's not building a holiday camp. Thomas Tuchel, that's a holiday camp where Neymar, you can hold on to the ball for 3,000 minutes. You can do so. It's just we're here to have fun. Koeman doesn't strike me as a guy where he's going to now acquiesce to Neymar being free and doing whatever the heck he wants. So Koeman may be like, I'll only take Neymar if he comes under what I'm building, specific team. So I don't know whether the Neymar to Barcelona would work in what I believe. Again, I'm just speculating, but what I believe Koeman is building, because I'm hearing Donny van der Beek, I'm hearing Depay, Frankie de Jong is already in there. He's building a team, and now this is the thing. I want to bring it back to. I'll come first to Ford, then to Sean. This was always my fear of Barcelona. Is Messi was always he's going to leave eventually. That's what's going to happen. Either my belief was he either retires or he spends his last year in Newell's Old Boys. Those are the only two things I thought were happening. But my thing here is this: is why the biggest fear for Barcelona is Messi leaves and Barcelona are not prepared for the transition. Because what Barcelona confident is that okay, we will find someone. We'll either bring Neymar back or we'll find that star that is already in place. So once Neymar leaves, boom. It's not Antoine Griezmann. So let's relax. It ain't Antoine Griezmann. He's still a side chick. So comes to far with this. If another thing he does, but let's say Messi leaves this season, what happens to Barcelona as a team?
It could be a decline. I mean, in fact, I'm going as far as to say it would be a massive decline of one of the great clubs in world football. And I know Sean won't want to hear it. I know many Barcelona fans want to hear it, but that's the road. That's the truth that they're facing right now. That's why many Barcelona fans went outside the camp now this evening to protest against Bartomeu to get him sacked, which he did. He ended up resigning, and for Messi to stay because they know that the plan in place for post Messi, which has kind of been a plan I believe which should have been in place 4 or 5 years ago, hasn't worked out because the likes of Dembele, for injuries, yes, but it hasn't worked out in terms of being a mainstay in that team. The Coutinho deal hasn't worked out. The Griezmann deal has failed immensely. So these deals that which are meant to sort of help Messi in his later years to be able to still win Champions League and also transition into a team that's going to be led by a different player, it hasn't really worked out, and that's why I say maybe the Neymar switch wouldn't be a bad idea. Now you say that you can't be a team player. I think that's absolute nonsense. HH, come on. Yes, I know he didn't have a great final. I understand that. Yes, but we saw him be a team player for PSG in the games that mattered. We saw him even in the Bayern Munich final, still press from the front. Yes, he didn't have a great game. I'll admit that. But there's no reason why he couldn't play in the false nine position and still have a good effect with the team. Play as a team player for Barcelona. Again, a club as big as Barcelona, Neymar understands his place and he will play a role that's going to get the best out of the team as well as himself as a star player that he is.
Sean, thoughts?
I mean, no, immediately Barcelona will suffer, but that's a whole part of the rebuilding phase. Like, you want to suffer now, you want to suffer later. That's your choice, Barcelona, because Messi's going to leave whether you like it or not. He's 33 years old. His contract ends in 2021. So I think now is the best time to do it, just because of all the fallouts recently. You want to say, potentially Neymar coming back, and then you're saying to swap from Barca to PSG and then Neymar to Barca. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's one of the potential options.
Okay, I mean, I could possibly see that. I don't think Messi would want to go play in the French league, though. First, if he really cares about his legacy that much, I feel like I think he'd rather go to Serie A or to City. But no, in the immediate future, Barcelona will struggle without Messi. But I think they were hearing shouts on Twitter, people saying that, they're going to be like Milan, like the new Milan. No, that's not going to happen. Barca have too many financial, that's Twitter. That's Twitter. Too many financial resources that Barcelona have for that to even be possible. And I think
It's a lie.
happen. But the thing is, interestingly, what Ford was saying, yeah, if you have Neymar come in, if Messi was to go to PSG and do a swap, Neymar could actually play in a more free roaming role. He could. He has the ability to do so. He showed that for PSG. And he knows Barcelona. He loves it there. He's adored there. Actually, I don't know if he's adored there anymore, considering the way he left. But I think they would welcome him back with open arms if Messi was to leave, because of that caliber player. So in the immediate future, no, of course Barcelona are not going to do well, but it's either now or later. It's inevitable. Like, the decline is inevitable, whether you keep Messi or you don't. If you keep Messi, you'll decline with Messi, as what's been happening the last 3 to 4 years. End the relationship now, move on, cut your losses, and then guess what? You'll find someone new. Out there, guys, you'll find someone new. And then Barcelona can do that. And they can just develop new players, bring in new players, and have a new system in place. And Messi can go finish off his career elsewhere. That's the best possible scenario for both parties.
So Ford, I don't even know where you came from this. So let's say you're coming from Barcelona's point of view. Do you think that it is the right move to cut your losses and allow Messi to go? Do you see a scenario where that is the right decision, or do you think you should no matter the case, it should be like, it shouldn't even be a consideration for Messi leaving? That shouldn't even be a consideration. Or do you believe that no, there is a scenario where what is best for the club is Messi leaving and you building a team post Messi that is totally different and not dependent on him? So is there a scenario where it would be the right decision for Barcelona where you would accept Messi leaving now?
For me, not to be the case, because again, if you were to make a plan in place that would allow you to facilitate Messi leaving and you're building a new team in that image, in a new image, then I could understand that. But this has just happened right now. Barcelona were not planning for this. Again, they planned for the sale of Neymar and what they were going to do after that, and that epically failed. Now, if Messi's leaving all of a sudden, are they going to? Can I trust Barcelona to be able to find the right players to come in and fit into a new system under a new manager? I don't believe that to be the case, especially with the pressure that they're facing from Real Madrid now. We saw how far away they are from the top of European football, which Bayern Munich showed them. So for me, I don't think they can let Messi go under any circumstances. But again, if he was to leave, which is Messi's decision, I mean, I don't know if they want to drag their best ever player through a court case and all these legal dramas. I don't know if they really want to do that. And again, there isn't much time. The transfer window being relatively short this summer, and obviously the season starting up pretty soon. So I don't know. Again, for me, if Messi is going to be sold, which again doesn't help Barcelona at all, that's why I suggested either maybe them getting a player in return, which someone like the ilk of a Neymar, or maybe if they was to swap him with Juventus, maybe they get a Dybala or something like that. Again, these are not ideal replacements for Messi, but somebody's got to come in to fill the void, because there's a massive void up top there. Because right now, Dembele, he can't be trusted given his injuries. Coutinho's going to come back. I don't think they even want him back, given what he just done to them in the Champions League and the fact that they got to pay extra money to Liverpool. Griezmann, I'm gonna admit right now he's a side chick. It is what it is. He's not been great at all.
So let me get this straight. So Barcelona could potentially have lost to Bayern Munich 8-2, allowed Coutinho to win a treble with another team, have to now pay Liverpool a fee because Coutinho won it, and could potentially also lose Messi, all within the space of a month. That's madness.
It's a fat L, bro. And it's mad because they're losing not just Messi, but they're losing Suarez. You are both, kind of past their peaks, but now look at the backup going into that team, going into that forward line. They need a lot of reinvestment. That's a lot of players who need to come in and hit the ground running again. Is the Depay going to do that for you? Again, I don't know if we're going to put all your hopes on a Memphis Depay. Wijnaldum, Van der Beek, it's tricky. It's a very tricky situation for Coleman to come into, which is another side note, which I won't delve in too much. But for Coleman to leave the Netherlands, which he was doing such a great job at, and to go walk into this Barcelona team, I mean, for me, that's a very, very questionable decision from Ronald Koeman there.
But he said this has always been his dream, and maybe there's some people. And also, I've always felt that Dutch people don't have much pride, and that's always been the issue with Holland in international terms, that they don't really have much national pride.
Yeah, tell it to Robin.
Bro, between Barcelona and Holland, I'm choosing Barcelona.
I mean, some dreams need to be fulfilled, but I think the best dreams that come to fruition are ones with a good plan in place. And right now, the foundations for Koeman's plan and this Barcelona team with Messi leaving, Suarez past his peak, it's not a good fit for him right now. I mean, it's a bad fit for any manager to come into.
So let's just shift briefly, because I know Messi is the biggest story, but there is a bigger story. Forward.
Oh, I know we're good.
Forward. He wants to smoke. Forward. Easy forward. He wants to smoke. So, guys, in case you don't know, let me just get you up to speed. So, Sean, we're going slightly blue here. So, Sean, just relax. We're going to be slightly blue here. So, you're welcome in, but just relax. Things are going to get slightly dicey here. So, we gave Messi an hour. Let's give Chelsea 6 hours. So,
all right, okay. 6 hours.
Chelsea are building a fortress. They're building a fortress. I'm hearing Malang Sarr. I'm hearing Thiago Silva. We're hearing Kai Havertz as well, Werner, Ziyech. And more are confirmed. Bra has been unleashed. Look, see, so Sean basically he didn't want the blue smoke. Forward is the treble coming up.
Bro, like, we're doing so well. We don't have to set the bar that high. Like, don't bury the lead, bro. Come on. Let us enjoy this moment for what it is.
That team looks money. That team looks. Don't lie to me. That team looks money. I forgot. Forward. Black, Thiago Silva, another good strong defender. Throw Chilwell in there. Ziyech, Werner, Havertz. Forward. And if Abramovich somehow, by some miracle, if Messi says, you know what, who can afford me? And somehow Abramovich says, yo, Messi, come to the yard. Come easy. Let me paint the scenario. Let me dream. Let me paint the scenario. Follow me this way. He just said, look, he says, yo, Messi, come to the yacht. He comes to the yacht. There's caviar. There's red wine. He even has like a special yachts built for his family and stuff. And so, yo, anything you need, and Best says, you know what? West London. I can even let you live in a whole Spanish court and everything. You have bodyguards, everything. You're living sweet. Forward. Tell me that Chelsea, I'm not going to say. Just what are your general thoughts on that team that you see?
All right, bro. I'll be real with you. If we get Lionel Messi, we're not just winning a treble, we're winning a Super Bowl. Everything, bro. It'll be a Mazzoline. But look, let's get back to reality. And again, I'm on this show to give you the real, genuine truth about Chelsea. I'm not here to get too gassed. I'm not here to be too pessimistic. I'm here to give you the honest truth. And right now, our window has been nothing short of a 10 out of 10. It's been absolutely amazing, and it's what every Chelsea fan wanted. But to actually see it come to fruition, it is amazing because we needed a right winger. We needed another striker. We needed another attacking midfielder. We needed a left back. We need a centre back. We also do need a goalkeeper, which by all reports is going to be coming soon. So it's a 10 out of 10 window. We cannot hate on it.
Ford, don't do me like that. So Ford, are you telling me that? Wait, Ford, Are you telling me that Chelsea could realistically be getting all black?
I think right now, if you were a better man, you'll put your money on Onana. That's what you would do. I think Oblak, it's looking unlikely, but again, before being real, for where your expectations are right now, we don't actually need to go and get Oblak. You need a really good goalkeeper. You don't need to get the best goalkeeper in order. They don't need to be world
Strong
class.
defense, just strong defense.
Bro, we just need a goalkeeper that can make saves, and we didn't have that for last season. I mean, how we finished joint third is a miracle when you think about the amount of saves this keeper was making. Again, the worst ratio in Premier League history, one of the lowest in European. In fact, he was bottom 3 in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. Like that, it's mad. So again, all we need is an actual goalkeeper just to make saves, and we're instantly making a massive upgrade. Now, in terms of how I feel about the signings, of course, I am excited. I can't wait to see the likes of Ziyech rocking up at Stamford Bridge.
Ziyech is the dude. No, Ford, let me be with you. Ziyech, like Werner, see, Kai Havertz, I'm not sold on. Werner, he's a finisher. It is what it is. What Ziyech did for Ajax in that chance, like, just that my only thing about Ziyech was he didn't perform at the Nations Cup. I was like, okay, what is it? Is it the team? Because because remember, I was watching him at the Nations Cup and he just did not perform. Yeah. But for me, I was shocked that De Ligt and De Jong went before him. I was like, bro, he was probably the best. For me, I thought it would have gone De Ligt, Ziyech, then De Jong in terms of who performed the best for Ajax that time. The fact that no one got Ziyech, I was like, bro, can you see what this guy does? So,
I mean, in terms of financing the deals, I mean, I understand that those guys are obviously a lot younger, so there's a more return on investment, let's say later on, if you wanted to sell them on. With Ziyech, there's not really much sell on value, him being at 27. I imagine once he leaves Chelsea, that will be him leaving to go to a step down to another club once he's past his peak. So, but again, I love signings like this. I love signing players in their prime because they're going to give you product. They're going to give you return on your investment right now. Someone like Kai Havertz, which is an 80 million investment, and could be perhaps the best selling of the lot in the long term. Right now, I think he's probably the one I'm expecting the least from in the short term. Right now, I think he's going to take a bit of time to develop, to adapt to the league, and I'm okay with that because now we actually can afford to have that. Because last season when we had the likes of Barkley or Pedro or Batshuayi as our backup players, now we're looking at maybe Mason Mount behind Kai Havertz, which sounds a lot better. Hudson-Odoi behind Pulisic. I mean, like Werner and Tammy Abraham fighting for the starting position up front. Even Olivier Giroud, that's someone that not many people have talked about. So it's crazy, and it's great to see that we have an abundance of options now, which is a complete contrast to last season. I mean, no, Lampard likes to tinker a lot, which can be a bad thing. We know they tinkered a lot with the backline, but in terms of the offensive options, being able to tinker with these many quality players, it can only mean that we're going up and we're going to get a lot more points in the Premier League. We're going to be able to challenge for domestic cups as well.
Wait, let me just read the super chat. I want to ask you something. So La Liga taking big hits. Neymar, CR7, now Leo. Yep. It's peak, man. It's peak. It ain't good. Just bested. Morata has more CL iconic moments than Homer Simpson. Wait, Homer Simpson doesn't play for football. Wait,
I don't know why he would comment now.
I don't know. Wait. Who is Homer Simpson? From Alex One, Lampard ain't signing Messi. He thinks it would.
That's the amount of hate is funny, you know. I not even hate, just the amount Lampard's like people love playing on that. It's hilarious. I can't lie.
You think this would impede Mount's development? And Oblak, more like Jack Bottom, bro. 5th place incoming. Why are you haters? Why don't you want to see Half Hope happy? Why don't you want to see your boy H happy? Look, do you know how much I suffered during the whole buying thing? Don't you want to be happy that Chelsea are saying, what's up, guys? You guys should be like, hey, man, pop those bottles down. Forward, let me ask you this right now. You see, this is the thing right now. Because from what some German people who watch Bundesliga have said that Werner's best position, his best position is not actually striker. His best position is out wide. So do you think Chelsea need to dip into the market and try and get a natural striker, proper finisher, and put Werner in his strongest position, which is out wide?
No, we don't need to buy a striker. We've already got strikers in the squad right now. We have Tammy Abraham, who got 15 league goals last season, which was a very good return from what obviously we've known him to be. Again, that was a player that many people didn't think would be a starting player for Chelsea or a player in the first team, but he went in prudence over last season, and I'm more than happy to have him in the squad. And of course, we have a World Cup winning striker in Olivier Giroud, who is almost the best possible vocal point for the rest of the team behind him. Again, having someone like Werner being able to play off of Giroud, which we know he likes to do, he likes to play off of target men like Poulsen and Schick at Leipzig. Having Giroud be almost a perfect kind of complement to what he's going to offer to the Premier League. It would also help him adapt a little bit more. He won't have the pressure of being the only number 9 and having to play against 2 rugged centre-backs in the Premier League who will want to rough him out, given obviously the price tag and the hype that's going to follow Werner. So I think he can obviously definitely start on the left. He can also start up front. I mean, there has been talks about Lampard. I think Lampard gave in I believe in a press conference before the final game of the league, so against Wolves, he mentioned about Werner that he wouldn't actually mind seeing Werner play up front. He wouldn't mind being able to transform him into a natural striker. So there's an option for that to possibly happen as well. So it remains to be seen on that. But again, I just love the fact that we have options now. We have so many options. And I'm not going to ask you what your expectations are for next season, because I feel like you've already mentioned bare minimum treble, which fair enough. Cool. All I'm going to say is, bro, for me, I'm going to be wrong in my expectations. And again, I even said it before the chance to win last season. Chance to win going into the summer. I said that, you know what, if we make the right signings, we can definitely push for a title challenge. We can at least push the top 2 teams, which are obviously going to be Liverpool and Man City. We can win a domestic cup. I think that we need to win a trophy. Again, Chelsea have won a trophy in the last, I think, 11 of the last 15 years. What we do is we win trophies. That happens almost every single season. And I think Champions League, I would like to see us go a little bit further, perhaps reach a quarterfinals. I think that's something that shouldn't be out of our grasp, especially if we do well in the group stages. And I think for me in the league, I think if we get a minimum of 80 points, I think I will be pretty happy with that return. And I think given the players that we brought in, some people will expect too much. I think that that's a pretty decent benchmark. That's my minimum expectation for Chelsea.
80
Anything
points.
less than that, yes, 80 points in the league, a domestic trophy, quarterfinal in the Champions League, and for me, that's the bare minimum. Like if we don't achieve that, then I'm looking at Lampard. I'm looking at the players. I'm looking at
wait. So that's where I was going. Let me just hit it. So Natsa says the GOAT is coming to La Etihad. Natsa, no. Stamford Bridge is still on the card. So now I want to ask you this: if Lampard gets for lift that head up, lift that head up, right? Okay, please, just come on, please. So if Lampard gets all these targets, can we finally say that he has zero excuses for anything? That if we see that golden team, that green team of the best young players on the planet, Lampard officially has zero excuse to not fulfill at least a successful season next season. If he gets all those targets, are you fair that there's no excuses for Lampard?
Yeah, of course, and that's the way it should be at a big club, especially at Chelsea. Again, if you look at all our recent managers, they've always had high expectations put on them, and that's just the way it is now. I'm not saying that if he doesn't reach those targets, we have to instantly sack him. No, I think we have to judge it right, see it, again, assess what went wrong in the season. Maybe there was a lot of injuries or whatever, but ultimately, I've not really got time to give him any excuses if he doesn't get a good season out of these crop of players, because he's shown that he could do it with lesser players without any signings. So for me, I think it's only logical to expect, and that we probably will go on to have a great season this season with these caliber players. So it's not a case of, oh, if Lampard does this, he should get sacked. No, I'm going into the season optimistic, thinking we're going to have a really, really good season. Now, not a treble winning season, but a really, really good season where we're pushing and we're going up to that next level, where we're challenging for a league title, where we're now an actual real team in Europe. We're not getting slapped 7-2 on aggregate. None of that. We're going to be actually challenging these teams. So I'm happy to see it, because, bro, we've been living off of scraps for a few years, man. We've been living off the likes of Morata up there, Willian and Pedro for many years. Hazard having to carry the team on his back. But now I love the team now, because it isn't just about Ziyech. It isn't just about Werner or Pulisic. There's so many attacking talents, and I can't wait to see it over a full 38-game season, and in all the cups that we're in as well. It's gonna be great to watch, bro. I can't wait. I'm so excited for the season, honestly. Haven't been as excited.
No. I'm because based on the players and how Chelsea are looking, I am very excited to see what these Chelsea boys do. So, guys, send questions right now. We'll do maybe last 20-30 minutes of questions. So send questions. Me and Ford will answer some of your questions. So send questions. Hit the like button. Send questions. Hit the like button. Send questions. So Cannibal Suarez. So before, I think before this stream, I was hearing PSG. And about him heading to PSG, and so because basically he's pretty much out of Barcelona, he's leaving. But once the stream started, I then saw Inter Miami gain steam and so forth. So where do you think it is most likely that he ends up? But I think if he was to go to PSG, I think that would actually still, a frontline of the Cannibal, Mbappe, Neymar would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. And also remember, PSG, they don't have a striker. And even the cannibal who is on the decline, even a declined cannibal is still better than Icardi and flipping Choupo-Moting, So, but then you have Inter Miami, the MLS, America, United States, the glitz and glamour. So, if you're the cannibal, which league do you think would basically which league has the best human flesh to feast on? Is it the flesh in France or the flesh in MLS? Where do you think that he ends up in?
Well, I mean, judging of his previous, maybe it would be the Serbian league. So maybe you can find Ivanovic or maybe one of his relatives. I don't know. But no, look, in all seriousness, for me, I don't know what the Suarez is. I don't know what Suarez is thinking. But me as a football fan, I would like to see him stay in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. I still think he has a lot to offer. Yes, he isn't at his prime, but he's still somebody that can get you 20 to 25 league goals in the right team and in the right system. But again, it's up to him what he wants to do, because looking at him and obviously how he's declined, I don't know if he's a player that wants to really completely with it, unless he be a Higuain where you're getting forced out of a club at Juventus because you're clearly past your prime now, which obviously Pelo's doing to him. I don't know if he wants to do that. Maybe he wants to enjoy the retired life and play in a retirement home league like the MLS, with all due respect. But again, seeing how he's treated his body, he's putting a little bit of a bare belly. You've seen he's not been in the greatest physical shape, so maybe he wants to take it a little bit easy in his years past 30. So that's what I think he probably will end up going to the MLS. But personally, for me, I would like to see him at maybe even I think even a Man City would be an interesting option, because
he never take him. Pep would buy him.
See, look at it like this, right? Aguero's always had his injury issues, and with Jesus, I've been a big fan of him for a while, but I don't know if he's really that guy to be the striker for them right now. I think given the chances that he missed in the game against Lyon.
Also remember, Pep. I don't think Pep takes a guy, first of all, that's old, who probably wouldn't have the physical thing to do the pressing and the walk off the ball that he would want someone like him to do.
I don't know. I think Suarez has a good enough legs to do that, but I think what
I
offers.
think based on his affinity with Liverpool as well, he may be like, I don't want to join a Premier League team that isn't Liverpool out of maybe respect.
I mean, bro, you say his affinity, but I mean, did you see how he celebrated his goal against Liverpool last season? I mean, he went ham, and he was even fighting with Robertson and Lovren. I don't think he cares that deeply about it, to be honest. But I mean, it remains to be seen. But personally, for me, I would like to see him stay in the top 5 leagues in Europe.
Let's take some questions, guys. Let's take some questions. So, from Mr. Verge, who says, if Liverpool or City get 95 plus points next season, are you going to induct the Premier League, and will it officially be a Farmers League? Now, if we assume that 3rd and 4th aren't on 90 or 88 or 87, and they both get 95 plus points, then officially it is what I fear would happen, i.e., it's going to be a duopoly as long as Klopp and Pep stay. I already feel that it might be. Now, Chelsea may have something to say. Chelsea may be may come in and be like, hey, look, man, we're doing something, man. But I do fear that the Premier League could become a duopoly and just a 2-team league where those two guys just roll in and just pretty much dominate the league. And then once you do that, then you see, it can't be a Farmers League. A Farmers League is Serie and Bundesliga, where it's just one team league. It would pretty much be what the La Liga has been. Because if it's 2 teams battling, that's a title race. A Farmers League is where there isn't a title race. That's what a Farmers League is. But
yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I completely agree. And I don't think it will be the case, just because I think Chelsea will at least be relatively close. But again, to the guy's point, it is going to be a duopoly for at least next season. Maybe the season after that, maybe if obviously Chelsea get another summer window to make them signings in. Obviously, these players that we brought in, once they maybe fully gel as a team and as a system by 2021 to 2022, maybe that season, maybe Chelsea can challenge the top 2. And obviously for United, it remains to be seen, just because they haven't got Sancho. We don't know what Edward will do in this window. So maybe they won't be able to push closer. But I think Chelsea have what it takes to be pushing those 2 in the next couple of years. Probably not next season for me. I'm going to be real with that. I'm not going to say that we're challenging for the league title, but I think coming soon, I think the duopoly will start to end, and we will start to see a more open Premier League title race like we've seen over the last 10, 15 years.
Where do you rank Lucas Hernandez in terms of the top left backs in the world? I always get them confused. So Lucas Hernandez is the guy who won the World Cup with France, not Theo. So Theo is the guy that wasn't there.
Yeah, Theo Hernandez was at Real Madrid and is now at
Yeah,
AC Milan.
okay. So Lucas Hernandez, yeah, all right, because he hadn't even played for Bayern Munich, all because of Alfonso Davis. So I think all right. I wouldn't call him great or top. For me, he's nowhere near the level of. I think he's. I don't think he's. I don't even think he's as good as Alexander. I think Robertson and Davis are way ahead of him. Davis is the best in the world. Then you maybe look at Robertson. I would say Alexandro is ahead of him. So yeah, I'll just by here.
Yeah, I would have had him up there a couple of years ago when he was playing for France. He was doing his thing for Atletico as well. I thought he was a very good defensive fullback and had good crossing ability and very physical as well. Very well-rounded left back. But obviously he lost his place for Bayern Munich. He kind of brought in initially as a centre back, and it hasn't really worked out. Obviously, Alaba taking his place there at left centre back, and obviously Alfonso Davies having an amazing season at left back. So yeah, I think he's probably, if anything, he needs to make a move somewhere else and try and cement himself as a starting place, cement himself a place in the starting lineup. Because again, a player of his caliber shouldn't be on the bench for any team, no matter how good the team is. But just the one thing that you said there a little bit earlier, who is the best left back in the world here? Are you gonna say right now it's already Alfonso Davies?
Who's better than Alfonso Davis?
Bro, all right, look, let's talk here, right? So I don't think I can give. In fact, I know I can't give any player the best in the world in their position after one season. Because look, Robinson's been doing it for many years at this point, right? We know that. Alaba obviously had done it for many years. Now he's playing at centre back. We understand that. Alba, yes, on the decline. Cool. What I would say right now is who had the best season? Alfonso Davies. Cool. We can all say that. We can all agree on that.
See, whenever I say these things, is we have to look at right now. I never talk legacy.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation because that's about okay. But if we just use ability and legacy, then the conversation isn't fun. Then Alfonso Davies doesn't have a chance. The beauty of the conversation, which can always be changing, is what did you do last week? What did you do a month ago? What did you do 2 months ago? So what have you done recently? Then we know that who is popping off now.
Yeah, so I think based off of that,
it doesn't stand a chance because we need to wait for ages. But when I say who is the best left back right now is recent performance. Last week, last month, and so forth, it's Alfonso Davies. Alfonso Davies doesn't have the career or achievements that Robertson does. No way, of course not. He's only just started. But as of right now, I can't say Robertson over Alfonso because Davies, bro, he has been a critical member of a treble winning season.
Yeah, and that's why he's been the best left back this season. I won't argue with that. And again, what Alfonso Davies has done this season validates him as being the best left back on form. But for me, the reason why I can't say he's the best left back in the world, just point blank period, is because if let's say he didn't have a good season next season, he fell off the face of the earth, then all we'd have as evidence of how good he is one season, which we could just put down to a pebble patch, or just one good season and he fell off the face of the map. Like let's say Michu at Swansea. Again, we could have then said, oh, he's one of the best strikers in the world, but that wasn't really the case because it was just one really good season, a one-hit wonder. With Robertson, let's say he fell off the face of the map next season. We can at least say, he's got 2, 3, 4 years of really good work at a high level. We can say, he was the best in the world because of that, because of a period of time. Again, for me, if you're going to be great, if you're going to be viewed as the best, you have to do it over a period of time. Greatness is measured by how long you can maintain it for. If you did it for one season, then I can't really say that. Oh, no, you should be given the accolade of being the best in the world. For me, if you really are the best in the world, you got to be able to do it again. You got to be able to do it next season.
It's fair. You have to. You can look at it both ways. 100%, you have to say, okay, do it next season. Similar as okay, you won the title, defend it. That's how you truly show. Reason why we respect United because they defended it several times. So through it, you can still say, as of right now, he's the best. But to truly see that this wasn't just a flash in the pan, let's see what you do next season. Mr. Aita says, would Inter be the best for Messi for the storyline to beat Cristiano for the league and win the CL, or United bringing the club back to the top? Best storyline move.
I like this question.
This is interesting. Which would be the best? You see, this has always been my theory. I've always felt that Messi has never cared about the rivalry. Cristiano has always cared about the rivalry a lot more than Messi. Messi has never really cared about it. I think all Messi cares about is he just wants to win one more Champions League. But in terms of this whole thing, what would be the better storyline? I would say the Inter thing, because you bring Syria into it as well, because it's the rivalry. It's an interesting challenge. It's bringing Inter Milan back to their heyday, back from the days of 2010, and it literally would bring Syria back on the map, albeit for maybe 2 or 3 seasons. But for that short period of time, all eyes will be on the Syria, and remember, there's already a deep rivalry between Juventus and Inter Milan based off Calciopoli and so forth. So that is already it's called what, the Derby d'Italia. So it's already a deep derby. So that, I think, would be huge on a multitude of levels, because again, the United thing is just merely United, but this is Inter, this is the Syria, and this is the Cristiano Messi dialogue. What are you?
I think for me that there's two options that would be my best storyline for this, and I think the first one we've already gone into at length, which would be going to Man City. Not just obviously to be reunited with Pep Guardiola, but I think just seeing the best player in the world for the last decade play in the biggest, most attractive, most talked about league in the Premier League, I think that would just send shockwaves throughout football, and I think that would just be amazing to see that storyline of seeing Messi play against Liverpool, play against all these top 6 teams on a regular basis, because in that Liga, there's obviously the El Clasico, there's the games against Atletico, Seville, but then even from there, there's not really that many big, high-profile games. But again, bro, with Messi at Man City, the Manchester derby is going to be a madness, bro. That league title decided against Liverpool is going to be crazy. The Chelsea game is going to be mad. Him versus Tottenham. You know what Mourinho is going to do against Messi? He's going to park 2 buses there. It's going to be crazy, bro. I mean, even the Arsenal match, there's going to be so many more interesting matches and talking points and storylines. And obviously, what Messi could do in the Champions League with Man City, because again, Man City haven't won the Champions League ever. So if, again, with all the investment that Man City have made and them still not to be able to reach a Champions League final, now if Messi goes there and that's the key ingredients to him winning a Champions League, then all of a sudden that adds a new wrinkle to his legacy, something that he's never really been able to have, which is I can go to a new team and have a great impact there. I'm not just a Barcelona guy where I only fit in this system, because he obviously hasn't quite cut it at international level.
That's the key point of, if Messi does leave and all he has to do is just pop off. Just pop off.
Yeah.
Then he dispels that notion of, you only want, just goes to a totally new. I would say if Messi, I think Inter Milan, I think, is interesting. You see, if he joins City or United, I mean, because remember, the Premier League is already the biggest brand. I mean, the Premier League would just explode.
It would be crazy.
He would flip in just.
It would be Messi mania.
Basically, same thing as if Ronaldinho had joined United. If Messi was to drop in there, the amounts of money he would make just from sponsorship deals and everything like that would be insane. It would absolutely be insane. So I told you, I still don't. Basically, I'm with you. I think he stays. I think Messi stays, but if he does leave, it would be the biggest transfer ever.
So one thing I would add to that, one thing I would just add to that quickly is, again, with Messi, again, it's the question of how hungry is he? Does he really want to stand some of the doubters, or does he want to prove to himself that, you know what, I can go and do it outside of Barcelona? I can do it in a new system, because he hasn't done it at Argentina for whatever reason. Obviously, he's failed in multiple finals. Whether that was his fault, Higuain's fault, ultimately he hasn't got the silverware to show that he was a success for that team. But now if he can do it for a Man City or let's say Inter, then again it will be a great success. But for me, I don't think Inter's a great fit, just because I can't imagine him playing in a 2 with Lukaku in Conte's system, I think yesterday announced that he's going to be staying. So I don't really see that being a fit. So the second choice, which I think is the most interesting choice for me, is if he was to go to Juventus. Because yes, I know for the Serie A, it's a 1-team league, I get it, and it kills it even more. Cool. For the Champions League, could you imagine on a Champions League night, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo line up together? Bro, I think that's mad. I mean, come on, the 2 greatest players, or at least in this generation, play together. Bro, I mean, I'm just saying, that would be crazy. I think that would set Serie A up alight even more.
Again, think about it, Pirlo. Does Messi want to go to a team with a rookie?
But I think Pirlo's the pulling power in that. I think he's the guy who's saying, I want to build a new team under my image. And he's going to get Ronaldo one side. And then if he can get Ronaldo one side and then bring Messi into that team, then all of a sudden, bro, you're looking at a completely new side. So I feel like that has a big appeal to it. And I feel like for him, he wouldn't mind playing alongside Ronaldo. I don't think that he has a problem with that.
I'll agree with you. if I see Messi in a Man United jersey, man, basically I'm cancelling football dugouts and I'm never speaking to Knicks again. Never.
Bro, deeper, yeah. Imagine what if Woodward knew this was happening, and that's why he pulled out the Sancho deal because he knew Messi was gonna do this. Like, maybe he knew Messi was gonna kick up a storm this entire time, bro. If he turns up at Old Trafford, it's peak.
No. I'm burning everything. I'm like I will literally burn every. If I see a front line of Messi, Rashford, and Daniel James, I'm done. I'm done. If I'm seeing Messi thread through balls to Daniel James and Rashford, I'm done.
Yeah, you can't have Knicks back on the channel, bro. You can't.
No, no way. Just by saying, name a bigger downgrade. I'll start. William to Ziyech. Now, see, Josh Beston. No. Wait, let me explain. He was a major Neymar fanboy, and because Neymar laid a brick, this is down him just acting out. Now, Josh Beston, you'd have to be a psychopath to think it's a downgrade of William to Ziyech. Now, Ford, I'll be real with you. I think Arsenal have made a good signing in William. William ain't scrap. And any Chelsea fan that said, "Oh, William was a great," well, no, William was a solid player for Chelsea. He was a solid player for Chelsea, and I think that he's good, and he's a guy that can just not enough times occasionally produce something amazing. Again, I don't want to put too much pressure on Ziyech. Look, Ziyech, I just think younger. I think he's a more dynamic player.
Yeah, I mean, I think to say Willian is Willian to Ziyech is a massive downgrade. You'd have to be a psychopath, as you said, or you would just have to be somebody on AFTV, given what they said last week. So, yeah. But again, my thing with that is, look, obviously it isn't a downgrade. Ziyech is coming in his prime, and he's going to offer something different that we've not had, which is a left-footed winger off the right, being able to cut in. And as we've seen in the Champions League, it's been very, very effective. So again, I think it's going to be a great signing for us. I was thinking Willian for Arsenal is a pretty good signing. I mean, at the wages that he's at, and obviously at the age, it's a little bit iffy. But I think he can still give something that they've not had. I mean, again, for me, I think a front three of Willian on the left, you have Aubameyang in his natural position up front, and then you have Pepe cutting in off the right. That's a pretty dangerous attacking lineup. So it can be a good signing for Arsenal. Just it depends what Willian shows up, because we've seen, again, while he's been a good servant for Chelsea, we've seen different kinds of Williams where he's not been as interested, he's not been as efficient, certainly with his numbers. I think last season was his most efficient season. But are we going to get that Willian at Arsenal? Maybe he's going to be a bit more complacent now. But who knows? Who knows?
Okay, so what do you think? Flop, fail, okay, success. How well do you think he does at Arsenal? Honestly speaking.
I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to have moments of being absolutely amazing and world class. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans are going to grow to know or grow to understand what we've seen as Chelsea fans, which is first technically and for as good as his ability is, he gives you a lot of moments in games where he makes you scratch your head and think, "Oh, why did he do that?" He has a lot of what people call quote unquote brain dead moments. And for me, I don't think Willian is the player that's going to take Arsenal to where they need to be, which is challenging for the top four. I think they still need a lot more than that. Now, they signed Gabriel, which is a good signing, but they also need a lot more in that midfield. Whether they get Partey over the line or maybe they get Aouar from Lyon, it remains to be seen. But I think he'll be okay. But again, at the valuation that they got him for in terms of the wages and at the age he's at, I don't think he's going to give them enough output over the next 2 years for it to be looked at as a really good success. I think it'll just be okay, bordering on slightly underwhelming.
Ford out here entertaining BS again. What BS is has Ford been saying?
Maybe your treble claims, but again, I already said, bro, we're not winning no treble. I've been realistic with it. We're gonna be pushing Liverpool and Man City, cool, but I'm not saying we're winning no treble. No, now, bro. If we get up like a Messi, it's a different conversation. But until I see that, it's just a title challenge. At least pushing 80 points, and yeah, that's about it.
So Chelsea wanted to keep Willian. Is that true?
Yeah, Lampard wanted to keep him on a year-long deal. Yes, he would have preferred to have kept him.
But he didn't like the contract offer.
Yeah, Willian wanted more stability for him and his family in London, because let's say he gets 1 year rolling contract and then he doesn't do well, then we can maybe ship him out and all of a sudden he has to then look for a new club to be at. I mean, while Arsenal were there and available to pick him up on a 3-year deal, it made sense for him to want to leave. So fair enough. All power to him. Again, it isn't quite them taking our sloppy seconds, but I mean, we didn't really want to keep him for that longer period of time. So if they were happy with Willian, again, that's cool. Again, for us, it's cool. We send all our players who are aging over the hill to Arsenal. Pay a check. David Luiz, Willian. They just go to Arsenal to stay in London. You know what I mean? Teams come to Chelsea to win trophies.
That's deep.
Well, it's true. It's true. I mean, you look at the likes of again, because I know he was sending that message in jest. So I'm gonna break it down. Players leave Arsenal to go and win trophies they've not won at Arsenal. We've seen it happen so many times over the years. Whether it was Cesc Fabregas, whether it was Ashley Cole, Sami Nasri, Thierry Henry, even.
No, it was an excellent.
Alexis Sanchez. Robin Van Persie, bro, these guys all leave to go and win things that they've not won: Premier League titles, Champions Leagues, because they weren't able to win at Arsenal. So it is what it is. Willian is just going over to Arsenal, like with Louise and Czech, because it's a retirement home. He can stay here with his family in London. It is what it is.
Also, again, I mean, I want to present here. I also have a theory that Chelsea are a more successful club than Liverpool, because when you look at the variety of trophies that Chelsea have won, and Liverpool only won their first Premier League last week. I'm just saying. Premier Leagues, Europa Leagues, Champions League, FA Cups, Cup Winners' Cup. Shout out to your boy Mark Hughes, Zola people. All I'm saying, you just rolled up with one Premier League, your first Premier League ever. I'm sorry, Liverpool, you can't talk to Chelsea. Easy,
that's not a hill you want to die on, bro. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to die on that hill, bro. You don't.
So, Liverpool forever. Does City or Chelsea suit Messi's legacy? I think Chelsea does. City is Pep. You've already been with Pep. It is what it is. Win without Pep, and I think if Pep gets Messi, Pep, you know that you will be fully known as Lep Lordiola, because you're like, wait a minute, you can't win without Messi, and you're getting him back games. No. If Messi wins with Chelsea, that will define his entire legacy, because then it's like, look, Chelsea need him. Chelsea are building something crazy, and Messi, if Messi looks at that and say, Messi, just plug yourself in there, combine with Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, and so forth, you're gonna have the fun, the time of your life. I think Messi would love it at Chelsea. I think Chelsea would be like the second most entertaining team in the world in there. I mean, do you agree?
I mean, I feel like Messi was to join us, which again is always a bit of a pipe dream. I think we wouldn't have been able to sign Havertz. I don't think you can have both Messi and Havertz. Not because they play necessarily the same position, but given Ziyech,
Messi in here, man.
Okay, bro. Given Ziyech is already there, you got Werner already there. Like, how does then Messi and Havertz fit into? I think that's just a bit overkill, bro. Personally, for me. Again, not saying that I wouldn't take Messi, but I just don't think it's realistic enough. But again, to answer this guy's question, I think both suit his legacy. Obviously for Pep, again, it kind of lends to the argument that, I can't do it without Messi. So again, maybe not Pep, but for Messi doesn't care about that. Messi going over to a new league with Man City, who haven't been in the Champions League final before, didn't win the Premier League last season. If he goes and does if he goes and wins a treble for Man City, something that they've never done in their history, as well as winning the Champions League. For me, that cements his legacy even more. So again, I think almost any team for Messi to go and leave to would suit his legacy. Maybe not, maybe a PSG just because they've already been to a Champions League final. Yes, they've not won it, but they're already a team that's kind of already at the top. Obviously, Bayern Munich wouldn't suit it necessarily either, but I think a lot of teams will kind of suit the narrative of, can Messi go and win a Champions League elsewhere? And I think, to be honest, I think a lot of clubs, he would make them instant Champions League contenders.
Okay. Let's just take a few more before we get out of here. If Newcastle had the Saudis, would Messi join? Probably not.
He's not in it for the money. He's in it for the legacy, to be honest. Like, if Messi's going to leave Barcelona, which is his comfort home, relocated his family, or maybe even going by himself to a new country, he's not doing it for money. He's doing it for legacy in terms of winning something he's not won. I don't mean
to be rude. Okay, how can I say this without being unkind?
You can't, so just say it.
How do you go from sunny Spain to Newcastle?
Hindsight. I mean, I hear the nightlife there is mad. I can't lie, but I don't see Messi doing that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I think, as Forward said, it's more about legacy. It's about Messi wants to win at least one Champions League before he retires. That's the main thing. He wants to win at least one Champions League before he retires, man. Thoughts?
I mean, it's true. You don't necessarily need Messi. Now, would any team take Messi? Of course, he would take Messi, but given that we've just got Havertz, we've just got Ziyech, Werner, to add a fourth attacking player in the window would be a bit overkill, like I said earlier. But again, if Messi came through the door, would I complain? No, because we're gonna win the treble if he came in. But again, I don't think that's gonna happen, and I don't think that's the move Messi's gonna make either.
Much was just CFC over Liverpool. HH lay off the cush, bro. It's Martin. All I said was very simple. Liverpool have one Premier League. Chelsea have several Premier League titles, several FA Cup titles, a League Cup, Cup Winners' Cup, Europa League. Chelsea have won it all. They've won it all. Liverpool, you only have one Premier League. One. You're not even defending your flipping title. So, despite all your Champions Leagues and so forth, you have one Premier League title. So, how can you tell me that you're a bigger club than Chelsea right now when you only just won your Premier League title just now, when Chelsea have been winning this thing multiple times and they've won a flipping Champions League as well? And yes, Chelsea's Champions League is more meaningful than both of Liverpool's. Because in the 0-5-1, Liverpool should have lost to AC Milan. I don't know what happened, but they should have lost. Tottenham were trash. So you faced a trash team. Chelsea beats Bayern Munich in their backyard. The same Bayern Munich who won the treble the next season. So Chelsea's one Champions League is more valuable than both of Liverpool's Champions Leagues. It's as simple as that. So Chelsea are bigger than Liverpool, but so you've been fed lies. You've been fed lies.
I'm not commenting on that at all. I'm not involved. No.
And what's it called? Just best in all this CFC hype just to see them finish fifth. Wait, who's doing hype from? Wait, what hype are we doing? We don't want to do any hype, man. There's no hype here. So look, before we just round out here, so Messi, man. Tomorrow, where do we think will be tomorrow? So do you think there's just lots of talk? Basically, the latest we're hearing is Bartomeu has not yet resigned. You see, this is the issue. Like, we just hear loads of information. Like, I said, he's resigned. Is this? Apparently, nobody. This is what I've heard from sources that apparently no board meeting took place, and he's not even resigned yet. So the only thing we know is Messi wants to leave because, again, there is like Samuel Eto'o posted on his Instagram, him and Messi hugging and everything, and Pio sent a message. So it definitely does feel as if this guy definitely wants to. Yeah. So are you still affirming that Messi stays despite everything? Ford.
So I right now think he will stay. I think like they will probably have meetings tomorrow, which will probably clear the air. Obviously, with Bartomeu going, I might leave the door for Messi to want to stay, but I'm not concrete on that at all. I'm really going to just sit on the fence in terms of what I think is going to happen, because looking at even just the news right now, looking at, let's say, even just at Barca Center, for example, right now, which are on Twitter saying that this is a moving situation and they're going to be tweeting through pretty much through the entire night because there's so much going on. I mean, even right now, one of his tweets says that the Barcelona team believe Messi's decision is final and there's no change in his mind. And they're pretty much getting ready for a new beginning. So again, if we were going to take all these reports as factual, again, I think the Barca Center is a pretty legit source. Then it looks like Messi's pretty much on his way out. But again, what team's going to be able to afford him and will want to get him? Now, again, to be fair, even a point that Sean made earlier, again, when he comes to a new club, a new league, he's going to bring a lot of revenue, which is going to subsidize the transfer fee or subsidize the wage packet or that he's going to bring to that club. So, the more I look at it, he may actually leave. But again, for me, look, if you're Messi, you want to leave, right? Surely you would have had this in mind prior to the 8-2 defeat. Maybe you would have been looking at what club could I join? Because I think that certainly accelerated the process of him wanting to leave. But that can't have been the first time he thought, I'm going to leave. Because he even saw it on the pitch, the way he was walking around. He was more lethargic than usual. He looked more defeated than usual. Even at halftime, he just slumped on one of the ice pillars and was just sitting there. Like
his body language was like, yeah, this is it.
So the question is there a team that he already had in mind that, I'm going to move to that team?
No, but see, this one. So my thing is, let's say he can terminate his contract. Of course, they can afford his wage. Of course, that teams that can afford his wages. The issue is if he can't terminate his contract, because that's why because Messi knows that. I think what I was reading was that Messi asked for his contract to be terminated because he knows that if he can't, no one can afford 700 million.
They can't pay 700.
No, but if it's just wages, Oh, City can. United can afford that easily. United are extremely wealthy.
It's true. It's true.
So basically, United and Sun City can easily afford the wage because these guys they just have that funds to afford his things. So if he can terminate his contract, that's when stuff gets real. My belief is that he won't be able to terminate his contract because unless Barcelona are stupid, we're going to forego 700 million. Are you mad? Come on, bro. No way. That's basically Messi can ask and so forth. There is no way that Messi is gonna do you think he terminates his contract? I say it's impossible. Impossible.
I don't think he'd want to do that to Barcelona because I think, given their relationship over the last 2 decades, I don't think he would want to do that to them. Likewise, I don't think Barcelona would want to take him to court and then try and essentially make sure that he has to be sought for his
But
release
then how
clause
does
for
he leave?
700 million.
If he's desperate to leave, he knows that you can't leave. No one is paying 700 mil. So the only way that you can leave is, please, can we reach an agreement where I can submit my contract? But how do Barcelona agree to that?
I think they will come to some sort of mutual agreement. And again, it's in his contract that he is able to leave for free, whatever that means. I don't think it's literally going to be for free, but he will leave certainly for less than 700 million. So I think it's something that they're going to have to agree, which I just honestly think there'll be talks tomorrow where they will hash it out one way or the other. And maybe they come to a mutual agreement, maybe they don't. But I think something will be resolved probably by tomorrow. But even looking at it right now, there's a lot of teams that have already been in contact with Messi's entourage. The likes of PSG, United, City, Inter Milan. Rio Ferdinand tweeted out that Chelsea are Lampard's apparently interested in Messi for whatever that means. So it's again, I don't want to get you too gas station. Come on, bro. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is it's a moving situation right now, bro. So as much as I just can't picture Messi in another team.
Wait, Ford. Imagine if Chelsea announced Messi.
Bro, they say we ruined football before, bro. We completed football, but we don't even need to play the next season. Like, just give us all the trophies, bro.
Then it will. See, you think I'm bad now. You think I'm bad. I would be unbearable. Like, I basically, people would actually despise me. I mean, people already hate me now. People would basically, it's like that's Nas video. You can hate me now, but I won't stop now. You can hate me now. Basically, it'll be like that. So.
Bro, they couldn't stop you. They couldn't stop you before the Bayern game, and you were confident before that against all odds. Imagine we get Messi, bro, on top of ZH up. Like, come on, bro. It would be lights out. It would be lights out.
Do you think Maguire should have gone to jail?
How are you gonna drop that bombshell on me now, bro? It's mad. I mean, bro, like,
wait. So this dude apparently, allegedly, tried to bribe people
repeatedly
and said that, do you know who I am? I'm the Man United captain. Oh, he pleads his innocence. He pleads his innocence. But did this? Surely he did. See, I struggle to believe that he was dumb enough to bribe some people. How do you bribe? Something is off here.
He's been found guilty of it, so we have to be led to believe that the court's findings were accurate and that he was led to. Now, the exact quote seems a bit iffy, but again, at the same time, you don't know what players are going to see under that pressure and duress. And the fact that they found him guilty of repeatedly trying to bribe them, not just once, but multiple times, saying that the captain of Man United, I've got this money, which you can imagine most wealthy men would want to do. I think a lot of wealthy men in that position are able to sweep a lot of these things under the carpet abroad due to the fact that they have a lot of money, but I think the fact that he was obviously Man United captain, these Greek police officers and people that are in charge of the police force there, I don't think they wanted to let him off the hook like that. I think they wanted to make an example of Maguire, which is what they've gone and done now. And bro, it's crazy when you read this entire story, the fact that some Albanian gangsters came up and drugged his sister, and they got into a fight with the police. Like, bro, it sounds like your next Netflix original, bro. It's mad.
Yeah, no. It sounds like him. No, but my thing about it is that I think Southgate's really messed up. Because it's like, you knew a trial was happening. Don't say Maguire, he shouldn't even be featured at all. until the trial is completed, you knew that the trial was happening. Hence why he now has had to pull him from the squad because he was being found guilty.
Yeah, but I mean, he did the right thing though. I mean, like again, the England announcement was always going to come out at this time. It just happened that Maguire's trial was happening a few hours later. The terms of it, but he removed him, which is what he was meant to do.
No, but I think even in the morning leading up to it, he should have been aware that, bro, this guy, obviously, he would have made the list, let's say, last night. But this morning, okay, he's about to trial. Then, you know what? Let me just put Maguire like on a waiting list until we see what the result is and then put it through. So the fact that it came out that, oh, Maguire has been included. Oh, he's been found guilty. Oh, damn, I now have to remove it. It's just, I
mean, for me, I think the interesting point is what Man United are going to do, because right now it is Southgate's issue, which again, he released himself of all.
Captain. Like, basically, it will look really bad if he keeps the captain's armband. Come on,
of course. I mean, he won't keep the armband, of course. I mean, even then, as a new player, he didn't. I don't know how much stock he really had at United before this incident. Certainly, very little now. But it's interesting to see who they give the armband to now, because who they're going to give it to. Again, for me, I think the obvious choice is Paul Pogba. But while he hasn't committed his future to the club, you can't really give the armband to somebody like that. Then who's behind net? What, they're going to give it to Fernandes already? I mean, bro, it's mad. Or Rashford. I mean, that's what they're looking at.
Or maybe De Gea.
See, De Gea would have been the option. Again, I thought that was the logical option even last season, but because he went against Ollie's tactics publicly, ever since then, he's not been seen eye to eye. They're not seen eye to eye at all, and that's why he even wasn't vice captain. I believe even in one of the cup games which Maguire didn't play, Rashford had the armband. So, I think they're going to end up having to give it to probably Rashford the way it's looking. If they don't want to give it to Pogba or you might even give it to Fernandes. I mean, imagine Fernandes gets it after 6 months at the club. I mean, bro. Like,
all right, look, man, guys.
Oh, bro, maybe they give it to Messi.
What?
Maybe they give it to Messi when he comes in.
Ford, don't put such evil thoughts into the universe.
We got to gas the United fans. You know it's not going to happen.
Don't do it. Guys, it's been swell. It's been good. And remember to like the vid. Remember to subscribe if you're new. And remember to stay onto the channel for future live streams that'll be happening throughout the week. Just head into the channel. Everything will be scheduled and so forth. We still have a lot more. And we'll be following the story very closely. If there are any breaking news or so forth, you will know that HH will be there, right there, to respond to any breaking transfer stories. Peace out, stay true. Peace. Peace out. Become a Patreon member. Gain access to my blog. Get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast of the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.